right, hello and welcome to another insightful edition of The Agenda. I am Chike Obogu. Today we shall dissect a topic that continues to plague Nigeria's progress, and that is corruption and governance. We'll explore why our anti-corruption bodies, the EFCC and the ICPC, seem to be struggling to make a dent in this menace. And we'll also do a comparative analysis with countries like Rwanda and Singapore that have made remarkable strides in this area. Well, joining me this morning on the agenda is a distinguished guest. He's Dr. Gbemiga Bamidele. He's a journalist who has in his portfolio more than 3 decades of experience in journalism and activism. He's also a communication strategist and is currently the principal consultant of Yetdar Communications. Good morning, Dr. Bamidele, and it's good to have you on the agenda.
Yeah, good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, finally, I get to have you in the studio.
Yeah.
And when you came in, I was admiring your towering height. But anyone who sees you now seated would think, oh, he's a short man. But your CV speaks for it, over 30 decades in journalism. And that's something to be envious about. Tell me a little bit about your journalistic journey so far.
Yeah, it has been so interesting, though challenging, because I started on a very humble platform. You won't believe, I started as a publisher,
Okay.
even with no formal education. I mean, apart from school, no formal training in journalism.
Okay.
So, but the interest that one had then as a consistent participant in literary and debating societies, all the rest of it, while in the secondary school, it trickled my interest in journalism. And it was after some time that one now look at it as a challenge. So that, in fact, there was no issue of quackery then, because journalists were so disciplined. There was even no issue of non-compliance with code of ethics, because then we have people that were ahead of us and they were performing well. So why would somebody have learned all these things that are giving challenges to the practice today? So I was with the Herald newspaper in Kwara State. Then later on, I went to Abuja Bureau of the same Herald. Then I worked with a magazine, The Psychologist. That's the name of the magazine, as an assistant editor. And it was thereafter that I got employed at the National Secretariat of NUJ.
Okay.
So for up to 22 years, I was managing the publications of the National Secretariat of our great union, that is the Nigeria Union of Journalists. First, I edited the press, and subsequently Fair Press. These are the two publications. Though at each and every point in time, we have newsletters from the Secretariat dishing out information about the Secretariat. But these two publications I mentioned, they were consistently coming out from the National Secretariat then. So beyond that, I also contributed as a columnist to so many publications.
Okay.
And even up to now, one is still trying one's best to keep that flag flying.
And when you started this journalism thing, was there any form of corruption?
Honestly, you see, I can say it that we don't there is not as prevalence as it is now. Because I still remember vividly the issue of Taka and Dabo. It was so popularized then, so, talked about. And you see, when we have cases of corruption then, it seems as it was like something that is uncommon. It's not as if something that you keep talking about every day or you keep seeing every day. Whereas, whatever, if you are talking of EFCC, ICPC now, all these organs, they were within the ambit of the Nigeria Police Force. And honestly, it seems as if when we do not have separate agencies, then the Nigeria Police Force seems to be more effective than even now.
Now that is decentralized.
Honestly.
Okay, so let's jump right in our focus for today. And it is on why the EFCC, that's the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and the ICPC, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, have failed to effectively curb corruption in Nigeria. Not that they've not done anything, but they failed to effectively curb corruption in Nigeria. These agencies were established in the early 2000s with high hopes. Yet corruption remains rampant. So I'll ask again today, Dr. Bamidele, from your observations, what are the primary reasons for these failures?
Yeah, anyway, the way I look at it, I don't know, we are only expecting them to perform magic, or what seems like magic. Let me draw a similarity. When Federal Road Safety Course started, first in Oyo State, you know, there were a lot of public enlightenment, public education, in fact, it is not as punitive as it is today. It was sort of maybe enlightening people. This thing you do, you know the implication of it. Have consideration for other road users. It's not as if, as it is now, that a road safety officer will be happy apprehending so many people that may have violated traffic rules. It's just like all these bodies that we have. Okay, why do we have corruption in the society? What enhances corruption? Because what we are going after is the punitive measures, punitive measures for those people that may have engaged themselves in corruptive activities. Yes. So I think we need to look at the fundamentals. Yeah, if you look at the statistics of EFCC, ICPC, you see that they are performing wonderfully. But you will now imagine that we have so many people in the society. When the other time I saw EFCC claiming that they have prosecuted up to 7,000 cases within, so I look at it, say, are we as bad as this? I think what we should be looking at, we should be thinking of, is how do we curb our greed attitude towards all these negative tendencies. Because if you look at, even if you compare our agencies here that are fighting corruption with those elsewhere, you will realize that their degree of performance is higher than those people. And okay, we are not talking of degree of performance. What is the, when we are talking of performance, we are talking of apprehending people. But why do we have people still engaging in corruption? The more they apprehend, people still keep the figure of...
but you want to ask, who are these people they are apprehending? There are classes of people.
Yes.
Are you talking about the apprehension of Yahoo boys, or you're talking about the apprehension of corrupt politicians? A case study is the case of Yahaya Bello. Are you talking about the class of those kind of people, or you're talking about apprehension of Yahoo boys and this makes them work efficiently?
You see, when we look at it, honestly, Yahoo boys, Yahaya Bello, I look at all these issues. I look at all of them as criminals, and that is when convicted, of course. But what I'm saying is Yahoo boys of today will become Yaya Bellos of tomorrow. Yaya Bello must have started from somewhere. But if you are able to curb this thing, to catch, I mean, these efforts targeted towards reducing, because I learned it could not be curbed. But if we can have, to a reasonable extent, reduce, because when you look at EFCC now, since EFCC came on board, they have been working assiduously. ICPC, the same thing. But as it reflected in the conduct of the citizenry, the way we embrace ourselves, I mean, the way we embrace corruptive tendencies, as it reflected on it, I think the solution is that we need attitudinal change. And we need more efforts targeted towards this. I think, like the National Orientation Agency should do more on this. There are a lot of, like this Yahoo thing. Some people will say it is the economics, and things are, I mean, the economy, that things are not good, I mean, things are not rosy, and that is it an excuse for one to now get involved in corruptive tendencies. Now, going back to the elites that are involved in corruption, you see, when I look at it, okay, see the issue of plea bargaining. When you look at it, it's a convenient way of say, you have done this, you have done this, go and improve on it. Because if I know that a slim percentage of what may have been stolen is what I will return, it's like trading. And it's like trading without any input. It's not as if you have invested or anything. You just launder money, you steal money, and then when you are apprehended, they negotiate, you return certain percentage. So you see, we are not doing enough. The regulatory bodies, the agencies, they are doing much. But the society itself, maybe I don't think there is a strong will for this thing to be tackled. Like the issue, the subject matter you mentioned earlier on, we followed the case up to a stage that we started, I mean, we are no longer hearing anything about it. We have so many stalemated corruption cases like that. We do respect, we have that of the former governor of Rivers State for how many years now? How can a court give a permanent injunction restraining, I mean, somebody to be prosecuted when they have facts? They have it. Even, I think the best thing will have, I mean, they would have allowed, the court will have allowed them proof if this thing you are referring to as facts are facts in the real aspect of it.
In real sense.
Yeah, in the real sense of it. A permanent injunction. I've not.
Well, that might just be an indictment to the criminal justice system. However, now, we have seen cases where EFCC chairpersons, the top guns in the EFCC, have been accused of corruption. And then you want to say, oh, that's ironic. When you see Farida Waziri has been, Mangu has been, then the young
man, the Bawa.
Bawa, yeah, Bawa too. Now, how does this affect the effective curb or douse of these corrupt cases in Nigeria, when those who are supposed to even be the watchdog have been complicit of this same crime?
You see, even the worst aspect of it is that we only hear of there being, being alleged. I mean, if they are in charge of these bodies we are talking about, and they have allegations of corruption hanging on their necks, why won't they be prosecuted? All these people you have mentioned, you have enumerated, we've not heard of any of them being tried or being discharged, being acquitted, or being, even it is after you may have gone, through trials that you may end up that. If not, so we are not, that is what we are from the foundation. I don't see us being serious about fighting corruption. Because if we've mentioned at least 3 of them, let them, wherever they are, I expected them to have had a certificate of cleanliness that, yes, I'm discharged and acquitted.
Or maybe they have a prerogative of pardon too.
And we have not had that. Even as bad as the current one being criticized, as bad as it seems to be, I mean, we still know who and who. But we've not had that any of these three people you mentioned earlier on, that they were pardoned. They were not even, you see, all these people, even we are talking of pardoning somebody, you will find somebody guilty before you sentence him or her. And then, without having a sentence, there is no basis for granting a pardon because you don't have anything hanging on your neck. So
okay,
that is...
Dr. Bamidele,
Yes, sir.
for us to move on, you know, these agencies are supposed to be independent.
Yeah, that is...
However, how does a lack of independence play into this whole issue? Because they're supposed to be independent bodies, but they're not so independent because whoever is being appointed as a chairperson is appointed by the executive arm of government. So how does the lack of independence play into all this?
You have just mentioned it because I don't know. I think there should be a way. We should devise a way of appointing people handling or holding such sensitive positions. Honestly, ever since somebody is, I couldn't have. I will try as much as possible to appreciate somebody who may have considered me for such a appointment. And in our culture, part of being considerate, being appreciative, is for one to steer clear of anything that may make him sad or make him regret giving you such appointment. So what I'm saying is that the ways and means of making such appointment, I think it should be looked at better, even not beyond the corruption. I mean, agencies fighting corruption, even INEC. You know, anyway, we cannot dissect. INEC is just like EFCC and ICPC.
Yeah, they are,
because
they are agencies.
they are agencies.
And meant to be independent.
They are meant to be independent. And they are always, when you see, you have somebody who have corruption cases hanging on his neck, and is he managed to get elected, you know? And in a way, INEC must have done a lot of underground work, like screening, like ensuring that we have a lot of criminals that when they go for scrutiny, they come out without any...
any blemish.
Yes, any blemish. That is a blemish in quotes. So, but we know who they are. So I think, I don't know, there should be serious attitudinal change, and we couldn't have started from the top. You should, I don't know, we cannot weed out everybody. Let's say during Babangida's time, they were talking about old politicians. You know, when he was doing his transition, he said old politicians should go. Okay, the young or the younger politicians of them, they are the old politicians of today. It's not individuals that will change, it is the system. If the system continue to accommodate irregularities, whoever you put there, before you know it, he or she must have gotten himself immersed in irregularities. So I think the issue is not the failure of the agencies, because what will have been, there is nothing. I don't think they are lacking in anything, because what used to be failure of contribute to the failure of agencies in Nigeria, majorly they will be talking of financing. We don't have a Ministry of Works, we do not have enough money to do this, we cannot do everything at the same time. But these agencies we are talking about, there is nothing like that. They do not have any handicap for them, so there is no reason for them.
So funding is not their problem?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They are making money, they are collecting money, they are still, yesterday, even in Ibadan here, I saw the head of Ibadan regional station here representing the INEC, I mean, EFCC chairman, in handling over properties. I think it should be, in fact, the estimation of that property is, because they are talking of 3 bungalows. 3 bungalows. I mean, 3 apartments. Not even bungalows.
Okay.
Bungalows. There is an apartment that contains about 3 different buildings. They handed, these are what they were able to recover.
Okay.
That is recovery from corruption. They handed it over to the original owner. So what I'm saying is that, and they have not complained, we've not heard of it. We've been hearing ministry parastatals talking of inadequacy of funds. What are they doing? That they will now, they do not have that kind of problem. So I don't think that thing is applicable to them. So we don't know, what do we now call their own handicap that disallow them from, though, like I said earlier on, they are performing, they will mention so many cases. But where do we keep having rising of all these, I mean...
you mentioned the plea bargain earlier.
Yes.
It could be part of it. It could be a factor.
That is on the higher side.
Well,
because somebody must have gotten appointed before you dish your hand into the treasury to the extent of stealing that kind of money. But you know, corruption, we should also understand that it goes beyond stealing. No? Beyond stealing. There are so many, even civil servants at work, giving somebody unmerited maybe appreciation at work, maybe unmerited promotion, transferring people wrongfully because maybe this one is disturbing them in that department, let's take him to where he won't be able to disturb us.
Of course, there are several forms of corruption.
Yes.
Okay, so Doctor, I know I've heard about, let's talk about duplication of roles now. I've heard about overlapping roles between these agencies. Does it also contribute to the inefficiency where the job of the EFCC and the ICPC clash?
Yeah, you see, definitely. In that kind of situation, you should expect inefficiency, and then when one department is trying to outsmart another one, just to, I mean, to claim credit. Whereas these are departments that are just supposed to work together if there is need for it. These are departments that will identify, this is my area, and there is a line, a bold line, a demarcation between your area and mine, or your areas of operation and mine. Permit me to make reference to the military, the security agencies. In Nigeria, you will notice that of late, the rate at which our security agents, they are dealing with criminals, terrorism, all the rest of it has improved. Prior to this time, before, you will see DSS, I mean, soldier, even within the 3 armed forces, one will be trying to claim a credence when you see apprehension being made, or maybe Boko Haram being attacked. But because all of them, they were not working together, each of them, they were not working together. But when you see it now, you will even hear from the service chiefs. They will say the land forces, they have done this, they did it in cooperation with the air forces. That is the Army and the Air Force. What I'm saying is that now we have a direct determination, direct identification of each and other's roles. And they can only complement each other, not one stepping on another's, area of responsibility. So I believe, I agree with you that this overstepping one's border
Yeah.
just to maybe there may be an interesting party or individual.
So why then establish both when you can fuse them together? The Orosoye report suggested that both should be fused into one, and then we cut costs.
But why have you not complied with Orosoye's
Well, it
report?
depends on this administration.
No, this Orosoye's report, it came before this administration.
That's what I'm saying. Implementation.
Yeah.
It is the administration that would implement if they choose to.
What I'm okay, why? Why are they yet to implement it? No, I'm just...
That's what we are saying. It's not been implemented. Maybe
Because
they're still looking at and reviewing.
Its implementation or is being reviewed is one of the solutions that you may be thinking on the subject matter today.
Of course.
Because if you have, like I said earlier on, I said FRSC, ICPC, USCC, they were all within the Nigerian police force. And the level of corruption, the level of road mishaps then is not as prominent as it is
what
today.
we have today.
So I think we should look back and appraise the activities of government and how our activities has affected or is affecting governance. When I say governance, I mean the desire is for us to have good governance. And with all these things we are talking about, all these corruptive tendencies, we cannot claim that we have good governance. Rather, we just be, dancing around
circles.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I have some questions. Well, for our dear listener, if you have questions, you can tweet at us on the app X, and the handle is @DominionCast, @DominionCast. I'll take some of your tweets later, but Dr. Bamidele, we'll take a short break now, and but when we come back, we'll shift to comparative lens. How do Nigerians' efforts stack up? How do we stack up against those in Rwanda and maybe those in Singapore? We'll look at this and many more after this break. Please stay tuned. Don't go away.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that break. It's still the agenda on Dominion Broadcast here. And I told you, if you have questions, you can tweet at us on the app X at Dominion Broadcast, at DominionCast. I'll take some of your tweets later on. We're with Dr. Gbemiga Bamidele discussing corruption and governance. Now, let's broaden our view with a comparative analysis. Nigeria consistently ranks low on the Corruption Perception Index, around 145th out of 180 countries, with a score of about 26 in recent years, while Singapore is among the top 5 with a score of 83, and Rwanda has climbed to around 49th with a score of 53. Dr. Bamidele, what sets Rwanda and Singapore apart from Nigeria in anti-corruption strategies?
Yeah, there are so many things.
Okay.
Don't let us even go far. Let's
bring it down. Let's bring it home.
Yes, Africa.
Yeah.
Because Rwanda is in Africa. When we look at what Rwanda has done of late, you should expect positive results. You see, because you cannot be doing things the same way and expect a different result. See what Rwanda did on religious organizations in Rwanda. You cannot be a church leader or a pastor or, let me say, a religious teacher in Rwanda today without being properly trained, without being accredited. That is after certification. You'll be accredited by government. You see, if you look at all these corruption cases we are talking about, most of them emanated from faith-based issue. Faith-based issues. What I mean is that in churches, in
churches, in mosques.
Yes, when they gather people together, they say you will be hearing pastor, reverend, evangelist. What are they evangelizing? If this is, their credentials. You see, what I'm saying is that if we can do what Rwanda is doing, we have improved the society.
Not when one wakes up and tell you, God called me, and then he starts a church.
Yes.
And then in 6 months thereabout, you see the person driving best of the cars, turning into a business center.
Somebody that may just be lucky to escape being lynched yesterday, maybe after attempting to steal a vehicle. If you see him today on a white garment and he said he has received call, people will still congregate under him. People that saw him yesterday. That is the kind of society we are. And then we keep talking. Rwanda. See the issue, the Rwandan genocide.
Yeah.
Can somebody even think that those people that
will come together and build a country, a nation?
And see the one that happened to us in the early 60s, Civil War. Up till now, people still keep referencing to it. We keep referencing to, referring to or referencing negative things, and it becomes a part and parcel.
Because many people still see it as an injury that has not healed up.
So, what stops this kind of injury from getting healed? You see, because we refuse to do things the way it is supposed to be done. And that is why we won't have any improvement.
We, who are the we?
The Nigerian, government, now we as a nation. Okay. That's so-called, some people will say a country, Nigeria is a country, it's not a nation, it's geographical it's just a geographical expression. Whatever we want to call it, let us do things the way it should be done. What are those things that disallow us doing things the way it should be done? And that is why there is no basis for any comparison or comparative analysis with Rwanda. They had their problem, they got it healed, and they took a decision that it won't happen again. And that one became a
thing of the past.
The past.
Is that not the will of the government? Is that not?
That is what I'm saying now.
By the government.
Who are, you see, okay, when we are saying government, who are they? All of us here, we cannot say that we do not have representatives in Abuja. Because there is no where we stay that we do not have somebody either in the Senate or in the House of Representatives.
Abuja is too far.
So, we are even.
Why don't we have representatives within the region? And then it makes it easier for a one-on-one, a tete-a-tete, with your representative. Okay. For example, the person representing your constituency now, if you want to have a tete-a-tete with such a person, you have to wait till the person comes down from Abuja, and then you pick up a tally before you can see him. That's if you see him or her.
But must you see him before he performs?
No, but that is the system. That's what the system has created.
No, what I'm saying is that must all of us go and line up in the house of the fellow representing us tell him this, tell him that, something that he's supposed to know.
But he doesn't know. The system has created a vacuum, and that's why we're seeing all these things display
I won't
itself.
believe that. You say he doesn't know. Why won't he know? And the same fellow will come back, request for re-election. You still vote for him, and he goes there. And we keep saying, okay, coming back home, see your status of assembly. Nowhere in your state that is not being represented
in the House of
Assembly.
Yes.
You see, we have that platform. Then we have House of Reps, we have Senate. What I'm saying is that the one that are even local government, we have councillors, we have all of them, and they are the nearest to the people. Why is it? Because why I'm saying all this, if you look at this Rwanda we are comparing ourselves with, that is the way their own government functions very well. They don't need to go and line up waiting for whoever before they get things done. They have people that are patriotic, people that have the feeling of the masses.
They re-engineered their minds.
And because you cannot just get it on a platter of gold.
Okay. So in Nigeria, we have multiple agencies, ICPC, EFCC, and the likes. But the overlap and lack of coordination sometimes hinder us. As you suggested earlier, there should be some form of fusion, as it were, maybe, for effectiveness. But what lessons can Nigeria learn from the Rwandan model? You know, you've started giving us some, but what more lessons can we learn from the Rwandan model?
Honestly, the only lesson that we can learn from the Rwandan model is patriotism.
Patriotism?
Yes, because if you look at them, see, like earlier on we discussed about the clash, the tribal clash that led to genocide the other time. If you see them now, between the Tutsis and the
Hutus,
we won't even know the difference. You see the way they cohabitate together. What I'm saying is that instead for us to get together, we keep distancing from ourselves. And it is the elites, because a typical Yoruba man and a typical Hausa man, a Pisan, they don't know the difference.
So you're talking about ethnicity now?
Ethnicity.
So apparently the country is divided ethnically, religiously.
Because it is when they want to create this problem that may have emanated from their corruptive tendencies that they will now be drawing
a line.
If not, how can somebody convince me, for God's sake, that Ote is in the north? Ote after Ogbomoso there. That is that the moment I passes through Gambari in a suburb of Ogbomoso, part of Ogbomoso, and I get to Ote, I'm in the north. It's deceit. It's deceit. A typical Igbomina man, typical Yoruba man, will be calling himself a northerner. These are the things we need to look at. That is why I say corruption, it goes beyond the Naira and Kobo or stealing, all this kind of thing. We should be sincere, because Niger State will come to, anyway, that is, it's not our issue today.
Okay, so before we leave, there are some questions here, but I'll just, I have about 3 questions here, but I'll take only one. It says, why can't Nigeria copy Singapore's model directly? And then, is there hope for Nigeria? This at Joe the Chef and at Ayam Musti on the app X. Is there hope for Nigeria? And why can't Nigeria copy the Singapore's model directly?
You see,
just in 1 minute.
Communications, maybe psychology.
Yes.
Copy. I don't think copy is the thing. You can the only thing that is easy to copy is their negative things. Those are the things that are easy or easier to copy.
Okay.
It's difficult to copy positive tendencies.
Okay.
You know, that is why we guide our younger ones, our children, don't move with bad. It's easy, because the moment you mingle with them, you go to club, you go. See, we saw arrest of people that were arrests that were made by NDLA. It's a congregational thing. If you were not there, you wouldn't have been apprehended. But where you could learn positive things, like going for fellowship, going to church. You comport your children, younger ones, to go. It is easier to copy negative traits than positive traits.
Okay.
So that is why
we should build our own positive traits ourselves.
Yes. So
Okay.
that is what we will now embrace. That is what we will imbibe.
Okay.
You cannot. It's easy.
And lastly, Dr. Bamidele, what are your final thoughts on corruption and governance in 1 minute?
Honestly, that is why we don't have, when we say governance, we should be thinking of good governance. And the reason why, if we do not find solution to these corruptive tendencies being encouraged, unfortunately, we keep distancing ourselves from good governance. Because when you have leaders that are not reliable, that are not predictable, you cannot have good governance. That is one of the elements of good governance. They say reliable, hence predictable leaders. If you ask somebody that is predictable, they say the cost of oil has risen to 3,000 naira now. No. Without going out, you say, no, it's not possible. These are the kind of leaders, the caliber of leaders. They say it has increased. On going out, you even find out that it has multiplied more than what, earlier on being envisaged. Okay. So I think we should know that corruption and good governance, there is no meeting point.
Okay.
There is no meeting point.
Right.
And it is until we decide to dislike corruptive tendencies and embrace good things that we can have good governance.
All right, thank you, Dr. Gbemga Bamidele, for joining us on the agenda this morning. Let's keep this conversation going. You do follow us on all our social media platforms, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The handle is at Dominion Broadcast, and on the app X is at Dominion Cast. You can also visit our website at www.dominion.org.ng. I'm Chike Ubogu. Do have a pleasant day, and bye for now.